something. It's not like it's Horizon or something where it's just like day and date I have to have that and play it.
Yeah,
But
I get you. Like that's just it. I don't like the other thing is. I would say this is like because I told you about Bloodborne
mhm.
and how Bloodborne kind of saved me from just like quitting gaming altogether. Where I didn't even beat Bloodborne. I just I was so upset with like Ubisoft and their broken games and like what they had done to Halo and how every game was being put out and nothing worked right and you had to wait for 6 months for it to be fixed and all this other stuff. And like,
Basically the game industry as we speak.
yeah, and then I was like, people kept bringing up Bloodborne, and I'm like, I'm not into Dark Souls. I don't really care about it. And my friend was like, yo, just get it. And I was like, all right, I'll take one more suggestion from a friend. And the game was just so complete and so well put together that I was just in awe. Like it was like seeing gaming for the first time, where it's like, this is a solid product where I don't have to worry about anything missing. Everything works the way it's supposed to, though it may be punishing. And, it was just, it had been so long since I had gotten that refreshing feeling from gaming that it blew me away. I feel like that's the way I feel about Elden Ring. Where
And
not to say,
what would you rate it out of 10, Elden Ring? From your experience with it alone, like what would you give
no,
it out of
it's
10?
it's a masterpiece. It's 10 out of 10,
Really?
easily,
Wow. Wow.
easily. And does that mean that there's absolutely nothing that like is awkward about the game? No, but in my opinion, Elden Ring is such a well put together game that is such a complete. It has more. My friend has put 300 hours into Elden Ring and can still find things that he's never seen before and storylines that he didn't know existed. It has more
Wow. Okay.
it has more content than most games have after 4 DLCs.
Really?
Yes, that game is
Oh wow. Okay.
it's so ridiculous. Now, mind you, like yeah, there are things that are hard. Like I'm not gonna sit there and be like, bro, just get it. You'll find your right build, and it'll take you a minute. But no, I'm just saying like, for me, it's like that's what deserves to be like all the stuff people are saying about Elden Ring. It's deserved. Like, and how salty certain developers are because of how it's being received, yeah, they can be salty because I mean they're just they all follow a mold with the way
Mm.
they develop games, and that can put people off. Like just like there's an
I,
obvious difference between the general gamer or gaming experience when I was growing up and you were playing Mario, Pac-Man, or any one of these hard ass fucking games that that would just be like those were friggin' hard. Like if you ever go back and look at Sonic, it's insane. Cause like there's or Mega Man where there's like spikes coming out of the floor with no tell just to make you lose your rings of your life. Like there was a huge shift and people kind of forgot how hard games used to be. I mean, just think of how many quarters, if you were around in the arcade years, I don't know. But how many quarters you had to have to beat some of these games out of here? Like you were basically playing $60 at least for a gaming experience in an arcade that you couldn't take home with you. Like,
my God. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's like a lot of things have been streamlined, and yeah, that works for a lot of people, but it doesn't. It's like when someone goes back to the old style and gets applauded for it. I don't think it's right for people to be like, "Well, you just don't have the correct standards of how a UI should look," or any of that crazy stuff. What about
At
you,
this
on?
point, I feel
Because
like I'm the only person that hasn't played Elden Ring at this point.
Oh, you're not.
Have
Yep.
you played it, Anne? Have you played Elden Ring?
I've been playing it a bit,
There you
yeah.
go. See?
I'm only like in Limgrave at the moment. Yeah.
Hey, stay there for as long as you can because no, for real. Like, and now that I'm basically at the end game, and I was like, yeah, I'm seeing all this stuff I haven't experienced, and so I like went back to Limgrave now that I got all these things everywhere that I know where they are, and I'm just like, okay, now how do I find this storyline? And the game starts all the way back over again. It's like now
Oh,
I
So
gotta go.
basically, you could basically complete the game without doing any story then, by the sounds of things.
Oh, you do the story, you just won't see the full scope of the story.
Mm.
And the thing is like there's multiple stories. Like that's just there's multiple things happening. Um,
I just wish it wasn't. I just wish it wasn't a Souls-like. That's the main thing that puts me off, is that it's a Souls-like. I'm just not into them at all. Like, I really, really, really
I
don't like them.
understand it doesn't have enough anime characters. It's cool. It's fine. Freaking weeb. No, I'm
I
just.
don't know.
uh,
Yeah,
I bet you put
I
one
don't know.
person with a spiky head in that shit and you'd be all over it.
I, I think the reason why I like Elden Ring so far, like I've never really got into like the Souls games before, but once like you beat a boss, it just like you get this level of satisfaction from it,
Mm.
and
Mm.
you just want to keep beating the next boss, leveling up, and then beating the next boss, and it just gets like addictive like after that, and you just want that challenge. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, we're basically at time now, so we're going to mute ourselves, and everybody will be back in a moment.
Mode. So
Uh,
I've never really looked at your bio.
yeah. Oh, that's.
Is that all that
uh,
work wasted?
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, anything you do online, I figure you have to be ready for it to literally be wasted effort.
Oh,
But.
absolutely. I mean, that's online 101.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to the 79th episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. As always, I'm Mighty Vicious, joined by my co-host Jamie James, the Inquisitor, and today we're joined by dreamer Nguyen. Thank you for joining us. How you doing?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. It's a bit early in the morning, but
This guy is up at like 4 a.m. for us to be able to do the show. So everybody just give him loads of claps in the chat because
Four,
this guy is literally up before the sun rises to get this show going for us.
4 a.m. in the future. He's already in tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
he's already in tomorrow. He's there.
so yeah, we'll just go with that. But I guess I want to jump right in because I feel like you have an interesting story to tell us. Um, but tell us about your origin, I guess. Like, everything you want to talk about.
um well, I've always been drawing since I was young. Like my friends that know me know that I'm pretty good at drawing, and from there I just wanted to keep learning more about it and like just go beyond like the pencil and paper. So it just led me to like 3D, 2D animation, and yeah, um, yeah.
So, with that being the case, as people are seeing your reel currently, uh, I see that you've worked in like Toon Boom Animate and or Toon Boom Harmony, I guess, whichever. Both are the same thing but different iterations because it used to just be Toon Boom. If I'm not being incorrect, but did you just do all of these for fun, like not for
Um,
anything?
it was for the Toon Boom work. It was for an application, like to get a job at a studio that I wanted to work at, and at the time um, I didn't have a job, and I was like volunteer work mostly, and I was like trying to put all of my effort into that reel so I can get the job, but unfortunately, like um the thing with me is like I'm always perfectionist about stuff, and you need to get things done like at a certain time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I I kind of like missed out on that because yeah, it was like tough to like put that together. But um I was I was working at a pet adoption center at the time and trying to put that together, and it was tough.
Well, as I sit here
Yeah.
looking at this node-based stuff you're doing in Toon Boom, this node view, yeah, it looks pretty tough. But th- do you feel like you have that same perfectionist quality? Like, did it follow you over into dreams?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but I believe when you first put out the Chappie sculpt, I believe there was a message or a tweet somewhere in there that you had basically worked on it for an entire year. Like, is that correct?
That's true. Yeah.
That is some dedication. Wow.
Absolute,
But my God,
absolute.
does it show the fruits of your labor? Certainly shows in that sculpt. It is insanely detailed.
Yeah,
I actually have the reference right
Ah.
here. Yeah.
nice.
So um the thing with this is like it's broken, and it's not like it's not a it's a really delicate thing, and I've kind of broke it, so I just wanted to revive it somehow, like in dreams, and like give it life and stuff. So
Huh. So,
Pretty cool.
yeah.
um, I would say, like, so what really brought you to dreams?
Um I just I'm really interested in like creating kind of work, and I know I can do it like in 2D, but I can't like I've never really tried like 3D, and I've tried like Maya and all of these other like applications, and I couldn't really wrap my head around it. But once I jumped into Dreams, it just like clicked, like it just felt like pencil and paper.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Huh. And you've also done compositing, but have you tried doing that with dreams? As people looking at the stream will see like the Cyberdog footage. And
Um it's yeah, it's possible to do it because you can extract from the screen like elements and then comp it in, but I've never actually like tried it myself. I've been thinking about it, yeah.
huh, because I've that's something that I've become super interested in, just because I've seen like two, well, counting you, I've seen two people really do it, three people do it, and some people do it to an extent where it looks amazing.
Yeah. Gianni comes to mind straight away.
Yeah, of course, Gianni
Mm.
Turismo. If you ever feel like looking him up on YouTube, but he does stuff where he like took all of his like alien ship designs and comped them into real footage, and it looks crazy sweet. But yeah,
It is insane.
but so like, are you a movie guy or a gaming guy or comics? Like you say, you've drawn your whole life, so like, where do you get your inspiration from?
Um, Movies and animation and just pretty, yeah. Because I've grown up with watching Disney and um watching films, and it's always been like a big part of my life, you know.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
So, you own the Chappie statuette. Are you a huge fan of Chappie
Um,
or just
I
Chappie's design? I should say.
I'm a huge. I like Neil Blomkamp and his films,
As
like
all people should.
especially yeah, District 9 and the VFX work in Chappie for that um for the robot is like some of the most realistic that I've like ever seen. So
Yeah.
um yeah, I love VFX and um the stuff that Weta Digital does with like the Apes movies.
Oh,
Mm.
it's a
Yeah.
masterpiece. So good, so good. I mean, really,
And
that was a change. Like the new Planet of the Apes films were like a complete paradigm shift in like CG for like film. So yeah, it's
yeah.
so good, so good. But yeah, you're right. District 9, a lot of the stuff in that, I really wish they had let Neil Blomkamp do the Halo series because now we see what happens when you don't. So, but but yeah, he's actually joined a gaming company now.
Hey now.
Yeah, he's actually an executive producer for a gaming company. It just happened, I think it was the end of last year. So he's supposed to be working on some like game
Oh wow,
currently.
that will be very interesting.
Yeah. So, uh, but yeah. So, what's your favorite animation? What's something that you'd say truly like, and like you can say traditional or maybe 3D animation, but we'll leave Blomkamp as the film thing. like, like what's an animation that you're just like, that's it right there.
Um, Probably the Lion King, the
Very
original one.
nice. Yes.
Yeah, it's the emotion that you feel from that, and it's just like an all-round, like really good movie. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Definitely a classic.
I think it's the first film that I cried to.
Oh, they
Yeah.
got me. They got me years before my guy. I was yeah. The first thing I cried to was E.T. and I think I was in my. I think I was in a mood when I saw that movie as a little kid. But yeah, I mean, Lion King will do that to you, man. The emotion, like you said, the way they pull it out, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
As long as you can see the original before they put in like the pop music extra songs. That's that really bothers me, but but we'll leave that there. This isn't a movie podcast. So people are seeing currently on screen where you're working on Chappie, and as I was following along with your process from your YouTube, it like are you do you literally build like everything individually and put it in place?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
So
if go ahead.
like I have a really like this is the key thing to it is like using reference and
Mm.
um like when I go home from work I just work on a little bit like a day. Like I work from like I just pick one piece and then maybe just spend like with the amount of free time that I have, like just working like my way from toe to like the top. But the most difficult part of it is like all of the pieces that you can't really see,
Mhm.
like the internal ones. So I've spent like hours just really focusing and looking at it and um yeah, and eventually like bit by bit um it just you run out of all of the pieces and it just all fits together.
That's
um yeah.
I'm just
um
looking at it because it's like I've thought about how people would be able to create something as detailed as you've created, and I'm like, it has to be separate pieces, but it also seemed like way too much work to put in. So I was like, maybe there's a trick I'm not seeing. But then
No,
I
it's
saw this
literally
video.
just it's just hard work.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
it is.
literally just hard work, like, and very good hard work, man. You're
My
doing the
God,
thing.
I think it's one of the most detailed things that I've seen on Dreams, to be quite honest. Like the attention to detail to every single element of it. You've like really meticulously thought about it. I can see that you've done something. You're like, no, that's not right. I'll go back and change it. Like I can just see your whole process and the commitment to getting this to look the way that it does is just insane. It's just ridiculous work. It's so, so good.
Yeah.
thank you.
So
um yeah,
continue.
you go.
I was gonna, because I'm just, as I'm looking at this, like I felt like I was gonna have like, you know, more questions about your process, but I feel like you've gone over them already. Where it's just, like I said, I'm looking at the amount of detail that you put into literally every piece, and it's just, it's
It's
beautiful,
crazy.
man. It's
It's
beautiful.
crazy.
That's all I
Yeah.
can. It's, but does it? Let me ask you a serious question on the internal question for you, because you mentioned before, going for the job, and you were like, the speed at which you need to work wasn't conducive to how you create. Does that does that bother you?
um Not really. It's just I work at my own pace, but I get that like in the creative industry that's not always like a good thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I just need to be like faster at it and learn more about the program and know more about it and just like work harder.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's also I mean, other formats, to go into. Lord knows, like, my friend does, which is the only reason he hasn't gotten on Dreams yet, is because he's like, until I can pull things out, I just don't see my need. Which is why we're gonna get into what you've been doing with Chappie and Polycam a little bit later. But he started his own toy company, and so he's gotten really into that. I would say into that I don't community, I guess is the word I'm looking for, and just doing pretty well for himself. And all I can think with your skill is that if you wanted to do something like that, because you know when it comes down to it, like, yeah, it's not it's speed is definitely a thing that's needed for like gaming industry or like film industry, but it's not actually what's needed to be an artist. Artists can take as long as they want. So yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't like something that was getting you down or still in the back of your head just being like a negative. There's other ways. I know one thing. I wish I could hire you. I'd hire you right away. But yeah. Anyway, I just said a lot at you. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Um, not really.
Okay.
Um, I was gonna talk about like sculpt about Chappie in particular. Like sculpting it is like one thing, but then trying to make it move was a whole like another thing. Um, because all of those pieces that you see, they have like collisions
Hmm.
and like a physics to it.
Yeah.
So I had to like also go in and turn it off and lower the cost and kind of optimize it with the detail tool to like just get it to move because it's at if I didn't optimize it, it would be like at 200% thermo
Wow.
or something like that.
Jesus. And
And
what is it now that it's optimized?
87%.
Wow.
Hey, that's good.
And that's still pretty high.
You still got some room there though. You still got some
Yeah.
wiggle room.
I don't know, because I feel like if you optimized it that far down, there has to be a point where like the optimization is actually going to take away from the quality, and I'd force people to get PS5s, then
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
drop it,
Like
then drop
just
down my
look, just
quality
look
to an
at
extent.
Chappie on a PS5. If you're on a PS4, just I'll send you a YouTube video. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
what I would do.
so uh, I'm just sitting here thinking about a year, like.
I know it's crazy. Like just on one thing, like it's insane. Like how dedicated you are to an individual like sculpture, just to spend a whole year on it. Was you working on anything else at the time in Dreams, or was it exclusively Chappie?
I was experimenting here and there, like with gameplay kind of mechanics, like Naughty Dog style kind of you see an object and then you press triangle and you just pick it up or something like that. Just like little things here and there. Like if I got tired of well not really tired, but if I when I start feeling like it's a chore to like create Chappie, I would like either dream surf and see what other people have been creating and try to like get inspired by what the community has been doing and just doing some other side projects at the in the meantime or just turn off dreams altogether and just like play another game like Tetris or something and like jump back in.
I
And
I've had so much trouble doing that. Like I've been forced into it now, but I've had so much trouble like actually or had so much trouble just turning dreams off. Like I would just keep pushing and pushing and like burning the the wick at both ends. It was wild. Surprised you could just do it. Just
Yeah,
and
see, I'm at that state currently where I can't put Dreams down at all. Like, if I'm booting up the PlayStation, it's exclusively to go onto Dreams. Like, I haven't got the time at the minute to play games because if you follow me on Twitter, I'm in the process of learning Logic and stuff, and I've just got completely addicted to it, and it's just like it's taken away that want to play other stuff, and it's just become a point now where it's just like if I'm turning on the PS5, it's got to be Dreams.
yeah,
So, yeah, I know how you
that
feel.
that's where I was, but I'm trying to be healthier about the creative process. So with that, you because like I said, you seem to have had prior knowledge of like node based gaming and stuff like that, or node based programming. Were you was Dreams just like more just figuring out the minor differences when you came in, or like you said with these experiments, were you just pretty much learning everything you needed to learn just off to the side and then maybe reapplying it into like Chappie?
um having a little bit of, because with the Toon Boom stuff, it took about 2 weeks to follow the tutorials and to learn about those node-based stuff. So when I jumped into Dreams, it just felt like I was kind of at home already, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because because the learning curve that you get with other programs, like if like you're the artist and you want to create something, it feels like there's a huge learning curve. Like if you're working in Blender or Maya or something,
Yeah.
but then when you jump into Dreams, it just, that learning curve is like reduced to
Mm.
something um where everyone can just pick up the controller and just start creating.
Hmm.
So
And have you been in Dreams like since the beginning? Was you in the beta or in the alpha for it? Like what is your actual history with Dreams itself?
um I heard about something about Dreams like and I heard it can make music, it can make video games, art, and I picked it up as soon as it was in the beta because
Hmm.
it sounded like something so amazing. And yeah, I just got it straight away once it was like available. Yeah.
And now that you've had time with Dreams, what's your overall? You're great at it, obviously, but but
Yeah.
but like, what's your overall feeling towards Dreams as a platform?
I think it's a it's a really beautiful place. Um like you get inspired by just seeing how something is done. Like before when I started out, like I couldn't even do anything. But then you see stuff like the full beach breakfast, and then you're just like, what the heck? And you that kind of like motivates you to figure it out and just try some stuff and then just place a few lights in and then some something like magical happens. And yeah, it's like a snowball that just keeps rolling from there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So before my friend Char loses his mind, as he wants to ask, so what is your plan with Polycam and pulling your sculpts out of Dreams?
Um 3D printing.
Wait,
Um
is that from Dreams?
no.
I was gonna say,
No.
wow, you've jumped like how? Show me.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much he has, but
Yeah, well, almost, yeah.
I just
So give us some insight. Like how did you come across it? How are you getting on with it? How close are you to actually like being able to do it? Oh, I want to know everything about this.
um well, I was interested in photogrammetry, so
Mm.
I downloaded Polycam at first as a photogrammetry kind of testing, and then one day I was just like, um, can it triangulate something from Dreams? So I just added some screenshots from Dreams, and it just turned it into something 3D. Um, and then from there, like you can export from Polycam like an OBJ file or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and like slice it. And um, once it's sliced, you can uh then print it like it's possible.
what's the
And
Um,
quality? What's the quality yield that you're getting from well, not in the 3D printing process, but just in pulling the sculpture out. Because on Twitter, like the Chappie looked, there was one that you had done, which was like a
Yeah.
testing it out, and then there was one that you did that looked like it had pretty much the full thing on there. But like, is there a quality discrepancy within it, or any problems you've run into?
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't pick up like every little detail, so you might have to separate the sculpts up into individual parts and then build it together later in like Maya or something. And then
Mm,
yeah, because the geometry when it's scanned, it's like all triangles
hmm
and it's not exactly clean. So it can be used for like 3D printing, but if you were to rig it or make it move or something, you probably you probably need like some cleanup to it.
mm.
Yeah.
And have you tried actually 3D printing anything from Dreams using Polycam yet, or?
Uh not not right now. But I've been thinking of like printing a cube just like to
Just
test
to
it out.
see, yeah.
The good old cube. Yeah, because from what you're telling me, it's just like you would want something that's pretty clean in how it's constructed. Like maybe not, too many crevices and breakaway parts and stuff like that in order to get like that clean, I guess, first print or a starting place for it. Um, Tell me something, because I imagine, being that you held up that figurine, is 3D printing as time consuming as it appears to be? Like, I know the process of printing can be bad, but I was like, a few months ago, I was like, maybe I'll get into 3D printing. Maybe I'll make some stuff in Blender and print it out. And then I started watching videos of people doing 3D printers and like their journey through, and it just seems like, how could anyone have the time?
Yeah, it seems super complex, and like one thing goes wrong when you're sculpting it, like it's not going to print properly, and then when you attempt to print it, it fails, and you got
Yeah,
to wait 6 hours and start again, and oh,
just the
it's just a
machine
nightmare.
itself and
Yeah,
calibrating and leveling the plate and what
yeah,
type of
it,
nozzles. I literally, they talked me out of it. So I was like, yo, I'll just get some clay and do some sculpting with my hands or something, make some resin molds or something. But yeah, how is that process like, learning it?
It's mainly just the bed level. Like once you get it leveled and all nice and even, you just press print and it prints it. Um
That
his experience is so
yeah,
different to
which is
everything I've seen, like everything I've seen.
yeah, see, that's what I thought at first, but then I just keep seeing these videos where so many different things being played with to try to get it. It's like, hey, you see the texture on that right there? That means that your nozzle is overheating. Just, I'm like, what? Like, I just want
yeah.
to buy and press print. Like, like, but okay, all right, all right. So basically, on Polycam, you're saying that if you have super detailed sculpts, you might have to go in and touch it up before you think about printing it, because it's not going to be just a direct photogrammetry, like, bring in and then print.
Yeah. You definitely have to break it up to like because to like you get a high quality if you scan like each bit um separately because Polycam can only deal with so much detail before it starts like looking like a blob.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Payoff Wizard in chat said, "What files are used for 3D printing?"
STL mainly. And then you slice it up into um I don't know what the file name is called at the top of my head, but it's like a different way for the printer to like read the 3D geometry into actual like squiggles that get built on top of each other. So the slice program converts the geometry into the squiggles.
I love
For
it. I love it.
The professional terms coming out right now with the squiggles. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, but we all know what he's talking about. That's what
Oh yeah, that's the best part.
yeah. So, all right, all right. Well, I mean, because I'm sure if you, I don't know how into the dreams community you are as far as like social media and the conversations that take place around it, but exporting is a huge thing for for a lot of people, and a lot of people, like I said, my friend who really liked how dreams looked and likes how it doesn't create a mess like everything else he does with his toy company. But he was like, every time I ask him, I'm like, yo, have you given any more thought to dreams? He's like, hey, can you export yet? And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, I can't do it until then. So, like, exporting is a big thing, and a lot of people really hadn't looked into it until your post about Polycam came out. And they saw you pull this Chappie out, and it was a bigger impact than I think you might know for the community. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Oh,
See,
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing about the community is like somebody will put out something they're just messing around with, and everybody else is just like, whoa, you can do that. Like that's
I
kind of
just
the
love
game.
I just love the ingenuity of the community like yourself, and where you've managed to find a way around it by using external application to export your assets, and how this other guy, and I always forget his name, the guy that's created the image importer in Dreams, that like just amazing how he's converting sound waves
Coin him.
into pictures. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. Like just the geniusness of these people that are like, well, there isn't an official feature, so I'm gonna make one. Like, and it's just crazy, like that you guys are finding these ways to do stuff that everybody wants to do in Dreams that isn't official yet. It's pretty cool to see.
So
yeah, I was mind blown by that image importer,
It's
but
insane.
yeah,
Like the actual, like his inspiration for it is crazy as well. Like the golden disc, like that was sent into space, and then he was interested in records, and he looked into how the actual technology works, and then he was like, "Oh, I can implement that with dreams." Like just the actual story of how all the dots connected is just crazy. It's just so cool just to see things like that happen, and then just you get that little light wave, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this in dreams," and now we have an image importer, and officially, it's insane.
yeah. So and people do want and like people do want to hear about it. I mean, pretty much our fifth comment in chat was literally wanting to ask you about this. They just want to know because yeah, this is like a really big deal for people because exportation is I think only second to multiplayer in the conversation of dreams as a platform. So like yeah, that was something no one had done yet. So bravo. you,
uh,
you- um,
I think Martin Nebelong tried
I was,
something
yeah, I was
before,
just gonna say, didn't he
but
do something with it? I don't think it was as good as this, though. This is a lot cleaner, I think, than what Martin did.
from what from this well, I if I'm remembering correctly, and I've said this before because I haven't been able to find it again yet because I've been looking for the article, but they can Media Molecule can do it,
Yes, they can.
and Martin's with them. So him doing it, I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but I didn't see what y'all are talking about. At least I don't think I do. You know, when you hear something, you're like, I saw that, but in
I'm not
actuality, you didn't. I don't think I
what
saw this thing,
what
but
was it?
yeah.
It was like a Japanese building or something, if I remember correctly. It was something like that
Oh,
that he did, and got it into a 3D program or something. I can't remember. I remember he had to tinker with it to make it look right once he got it in there, but I'll have to find it and put it in chat.
Yeah, I never saw that. I like I was just explaining. I thought I knew what y'all were talking about, like I had heard about it, but no, if it was a Japanese building, I definitely didn't see it. Maybe I
I
just
may be
heard that
wrong.
he had done something.
I remember it was a building of some sort. There we go. Export 3D model. Yeah, I think I've got it. Yep. I'll put it in chat so everyone can see it and look at it later.
Payoff Wizard says the Polycam export isn't really usable for anything other than 3D printing. You know, this brings up a conversation. This brings up something that I've actually uh, been a part of for as far as the conversations around dreams. You're not wrong, Payoff Wizard, but you'd be surprised how many people don't actually care about exporting their games as much as they care about 3D printing. But but it's kind of like multiplayer where everyone's like, I want multiplayer, but then someone steps out of the shadows hoping not to get beat with bats and says, but what kind of multiplayer?
Mm. And that is
And
the big question.
yeah, and so it's like all these things get more complex whenever someone has like there are a lot of people who are some of the louder individuals that want exportation, and it's not the people who create games. It's actually the people who just want to 3D print.
Mm.
And I would say that for that, this is very useful.
I would also say that the people that shout the loudest for 3D printing are more than likely shouting the way they are is because 3D printing is on the Trello board, like it's in R&D. So the fact that it's physically there on the Trello board means that it's being worked on like physically. So if it's going to come exportation, it's going to be 3D printing first, I would
I mean,
expect.
ain't everything on the Trello board?
Well, I mean, well, exportation of games isn't, whereas 3D printing is, which is a form of exportation. So, like, there's more promise for 3D printing than there is game exportation because it's on the Trello. So,
Tushy. Yep. All right. Well, so I guess one question I guess I'll kind of jump to and what I wanted to go over was just what's next for you in dreams. Like you seem to have your flow state for it, and you obviously know the the logic because that page of logic on the Chappie breakdown, yeah, anxiety and everything happens to me on that screen. So, yeah, what's next for you in dreams?
Um, at the moment, I'm working on Christopher Johnson, which is a character from District 9. And my goal with it is to try and get it to look as realistic as the Davy Jones one that I've done, but
It's on the
actually
screen
make.
right now.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
But actually make it move. Yeah. Like actually have it have facial expression and walk, but try to make it look like Davy Jones. Like that. Yeah. That's
I'll
what
be
I'm.
I'll be waiting for that. That I mean, because you've already done some of the work on the character, at least like testing, right?
Yeah, testing at the moment. Just the core animation of it and trying to figure out how it works, and um then start to replace all of those simple parts with more detail later.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine that it'd be too difficult for you, just in the breakdown of the animation you already know from other things. It seems like
yeah.
what I've seen from Dreamers as far as technique. So you're talking
Wait,
you'll be done
I
with
haven't
this by
played
like
it
next week. You'll be ready to show us. No, just just messing with you. But if you do it, it would be really interesting to see you do. Not I'm not trying to put work on your table. Just Have you done like shown these things and actually like tweeted them at people? Like,
Um,
have you shown Chappie to Neil Blomkamp, like, or tried to get it in front of him?
no, like I don't. Yeah, I've never tried doing that. Because I think he has a like I think Neil Blomkamp last time I checked he had something against Chappie. Uh, like he didn't like feel that it was his best movie or something.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
he has the same thing against what was that movie with Matt Damon where there's like the rich people live in the sky. I can't remember the name of the movie at this moment, but yeah,
Oh, yeah, I know what movie you're on about.
yeah, but he seems to have this thing where, but I don't know. I think he was listening to the haters a little too much. But I mean, I'd still say just Chappie as itself, like it'd be cool to show because I mean, you've done some really high quality Elysium. Thank you, Topaz Mackie.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people will surprise you by actually being available on social media. A lot of them won't, but some of them will. Um, but yeah, I think it would be cool to see you if you do those things like a short story or something with Christopher Johnson and Chappie in the in the same
Wow.
thing. That would be kind of cool. Just for me as a fan of both films, I think that would be pretty awesome. But like I said, I'll see what you come back with next week, and we'll talk. No, just but no. Anyway. So, um, Squid Game.
Yeah,
Did you like the show?
I loved it. It was like really cool. Like
It was
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know
I
that guy was shopping that same like series script around
Mm,
for like 10 years before
yeah.
someone actually like let him make it?
Yep. Crazy. Just goes to show, never stop. Keep on going. If you
Yep,
believe in your product, one day someone else will too.
hopefully. Hopefully. But yeah,
It is good. It is. I really enjoyed it. I mean, the dub was
I didn't
absolutely
I
awful.
didn't I didn't
But
ask you if you. Well, that's your fault for watching
yeah.
dubs. Like but I asked On what he thought of Squid Game, sir. So I would
Well,
like to
I'm
hear
just
his
giving
answer.
my opinion too, sir.
So yeah, you were
I thought
saying you really liked it.
yeah, I thought the acting was really good. Um and it's nail biting. Yeah. Like every episode, and then that one episode with the marbles, that just like kills you.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. That yeah. Yeah. Good lord, that episode.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is one episode to definitely remember. Wow.
Yeah, and yes, coin him. For some reason, I just can't get Jemmy to become cultured and not turn the dubs off. Dub is always the worst thing about everything that
I
is
know, but
dubbed.
look, my defense about it is if I watch something, I'm just looking at the bottom of the screen the entire time, and I can't appreciate it because I'm literally just I'm looking at like 10% of the film because I'm just reading everything, and my wife cannot get along with sub at all. She can't read it quick enough. She's a very slow reader. So if we wanted to watch something that was subbed, I would literally have to narrate the whole entire thing. So to that point, it's not even worth watching anymore. So it's dub only.
We'll move past this because I don't want to get upset. So, so we'll just move on. Uncultured swine. No, I can't deal with it. Anyway, no, move on. Um, uh, have you? Now you said you enjoyed drawing. Did you like? Are you into more hand drawn non CG things? So, like you said, Lion King, but like things like Tekken Concrete, or some of the animated films of like anime or stuff like that. Like, has there been anything that's blown you away in that genre, or do you not really go into that very often?
I'm a huge fan of Miyazaki's work with Studio Ghibli and Spirited Away um and just the hand drawn stuff. Like, it's amazing to me because these are artists who are just surviving with just pencil and paper, you know, and that kind of stuff just like it motivates me, especially when I'm creating in dreams. Like, this is something much more advanced than pencil and paper.
Mm.
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
I I love like traditional animation, and it's crazy what these guys can do um because they're animating like 24 frames per second, and that's a lot of drawing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just going back and seeing some of the traditional things that, like, a lot of places have gotten better at merging, um, like computer, I guess, 2D and CG, but like going back and seeing what they had to do to create like Akira is, you wonder how it ever
Yeah.
got done. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you being up at 4:30 to be here on this show, and it's like, how did it ever get done? Because I just don't. Yeah, just everything they did for like 10 seconds of animation. I just
And yeah, it wasn't digital either.
Yeah.
It was all optical,
Mm.
like camera work and cells and painting cells, and like it's insane.
Now, let me ask you a question. I'm still trying to get somebody on my side in this dreams argument, but it's not really an argument. But would you like to see Wacom support in dreams?
Um,
That's a no, ladies and gentlemen. We I'm still alone. I'm still alone. It's
Um,
fine now. No, go
I
ahead.
mean, like people, if it makes people create more stuff with it, then I'm all for it. Like, it will be really cool to see, like, especially for drawing. I think it'll make things a little easier, especially if you're not used to the controller and you just want that, um, you know, that intuition of being able to just draw like you would with pencil and paper. I think, and then you can build on top of it with like the tools in Dreams, and I think it would actually be pretty amazing to have the Wacom support.
We've turned this one around, boys. We
oh,
Yeah.
we turned this one around. But yeah, I mean, the way you broke it down is exactly how I usually try to argue it, where it's like the conversation between like keyboard and mouse and controller, like which one is better. It's like what you're more used to. That's what's better for you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I've been arguing this Wacom thing for ages now, because I'm just like, first of all our consoles are computers. They're basically PCs just specialized towards gaming. So I feel like if they wanted to, they could just put in the drivers. And it would work. But yeah, just the idea of using Fleck, but with a stylus, feels so, like, just the idea of it feels so much better to me than when I've tried to use either the moves or the six axis itself. So yeah. Yeah. Why would anyone not? Oh, wait a minute. Payoff. Are you actually backing me up on a stance? Wait a minute. Why would anyone not want it? The only argument I can think of is they would rather have MM spend their time on something else, which is usually the case. It's usually MM who's like, we want this. We want to do this for the community. We think it'd be cool. But also, if we work on this, we have to put this other thing on the back burner that we've been working on. So yeah. I've just
One day, I mean, and that's the thing with MN. You just never know. I mean, they just love to innovate, especially with like just look at Dreams, how innovative it is. So it's definitely something that I reckon would be on the cards, but it would just be like when all the major stuff they're working on is done, and they've got all the little things to work on. Then maybe I can see it.
One thing that I would love to see in Dreams is being able to copy and paste like color palettes instead of like trying to eyeball it. Because at the moment, if you want something to be like a same color, you kind of have to try and eyeball those levels. So being able to just pick that color and then drop it onto something else would like be really cool.
without doing it logically, you mean?
Because when I was working on Chappie, like I did the stupid thing and modeled him all one color. So then I had to actually go back and change all the materials. So it's like he's made up of 887 pieces, and you
Wow.
kind of had to eyeball like each piece to be like the same color. So having something where you can copy the materials and the color and paste it onto another thing, that would have been like really good to have.
Because the only way to do that now would be connecting the nodes between like a colored
Is it?
block and yeah, like it. Mind you, if I'm talking about the right thing, because I've had to do it for something that I was working on before I went into my hiatus, you can actually take the color of something and then you can run it through the wire to the other thing and make it
Uh,
so that both are the same color.
oh, I didn't know.
So, and also Coinum said cough cough picture importer. So you would have all your colors there and he'd be able, and you could do that the same way from
That
there.
you could literally just make a color palette
Yeah.
and then import it into Dreams and color pick from it.
Yeah, because I've seen people do it before in the original version of the style that oh god, I'm going blank again, guys. I didn't have enough coffee. Listre,
Listia.
yeah, Listier,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Hmm.
she the in the original style or tutorial for that color style, it's actually set up as like splotches of color off to the side that you can then just attach
Yeah.
to whatever you're working on and then mess with the light. So yeah, that would be like the way. Or use the eyedropper if it's spray paint. Yeah. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the only way that I've found when I ran into that same problem was to literally just make it so like there was one thing that I would pull all the color from and I would just keep attaching the nodes to whatever I was working on and it would
Uh,
uniformly change them all. So,
I always learning new things.
That's the thing with Dreams. No one
Yeah,
knows everything. There's
that's
always something
crazy.
new to learn. Yeah.
let that be a lesson to all of you. I am
Mighty
useful.
Mighty Butcher taught someone something in Dreams.
But yeah, because I do feel the same way though. Like I don't want to be messing with those wires, personally. I don't want to
Yeah.
mess with the wires, so I would very much prefer that I be able to just a color dropper, just be like boop, like he said, like they have for paint, but have it for sculpt as well, because that would be fantastic.
Mm.
So, because Lord knows, I've
Any
run into
other?
the issue.
Is there any other features that you would personally like to be seen in Dreams?
It's the touchpad that's being used as a button at the moment, so maybe a little bit more like swipes, like something where you can wire swipes, swipe up, left, right, down.
Mm.
I think that would, um, or even some way to kind of play with that touchpad a little bit more. That would
Mhm.
be pretty cool. Yeah. But I don't know how that would actually be programmed or like possible to do, but yeah, that would be awesome.
It would be very good to see more of that, especially
Yeah,
like moving into the PS5 version whenever that drops, because we still have the touchpad on the DualSense, so there's uniformity there for both the PS4 version that we have now and the future with the PS5 version. So it's not like it's a redundant thing to be developing for. So that's actually quite an interesting topic.
Yeah, and someone was saying, wait, would the color picker not suffice? Touchpad, click on color works as tint, paint, sculpt, right? The eyedropper works for sculpts. It does, but it doesn't actually. It doesn't do. From what I understand, you want it to keep all the properties of said thing you're trying to get
like
it from.
the opacity, the
Mm.
metallic
Yeah.
texture, and all of that, like transfer from one thing to another.
Yeah,
Well,
and for that you definitely have to run all the wires
There's no other way, as far as I'm aware,
or
other
take
than
note.
wire.
Like the color picker doesn't just take that into consideration, which has led to a lot of weird things happening with some of the characters I've tried to create. But yeah, as everyone can see, as Ninja pointed out, Chappie is real. Yeah, this is the Chappie uh, sculpt that he worked on for an entire year. It is super impressive. If you haven't actually
So
played
good.
it in or gone through and done the demo in Dreams, you should do it because it's very impressive. But yeah, so you said if there were other things, and you said more swipe options for the controller, huh?
um, something else a little bit off topic. Um, there's there's this YouTuber called Draw with Jazza.
Oh,
Um,
love
I
Draw of Jazza. Yeah.
yeah, and he actually made a part 1 video of Dreams, but we're all still waiting
Okay.
for that part 2.
Oh.
Yeah, he said like he was gonna do some sculpting or create something, but we're still waiting for that part 2.
Yeah, he's done a
So
lot of stuff with VR sculpting and stuff as well, isn't he? He's like he's really getting into like the digital side of art and stuff. So
I
I've never
must
saw the video of him doing dreams. That's interesting. I'll have to definitely give that a watch.
I must
so
I must miss the great episodes because every time I watch the art with jazz or whatever, I never see him actually go over the stuff that I would like care to hear him talk about. Like I'm not trying to throw shade. Obviously, people love him. I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen the Dreams video either. But am I seeing like the wrong stuff? Because I followed him for a while, and every time there was like an art video, it always seemed like it was more about what he was like other things he was talking about, not necessarily what he was working on. So like the cuts away from him doing the actual process was kind of throwing me for a loop, and I was like, are there longer videos somewhere, or am I just
It's been a while since I've watched Draw of Jazza, but every video I watched, it was always like a time lapse of the drawing, and he'd be talking about the process and like the markers that he was using and the reason why he uses these markers because of the way they blend and stuff and the outlining and
I've missed it all? Then maybe it was just the videos specifically that I've seen.
actually got
oh,
his
you got if it'll unblur.
Yeah,
yes.
it's really fighting you on this.
Yeah,
The
it really doesn't want to show us.
the
um but it's the Draw with Jazza art
There you
kit.
go.
I got it.
oh
Yeah, and Yeah. Um, I don't know why I did that. But yeah, he's one of my favorite YouTubers, and like I just want to see that part two video um sometime.
I
I've
just
just
really
looked,
like to
and
see it.
that video came out 2 years ago, so still
Yeah,
waiting. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
shame it never got. Shame he never did a series with it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
see, what and people in chat are wondering because they were saying they saw the video. It's weird, and Char said it's weird how some people really enjoy dreams at the start and then never come back to it. And Coinum said it might just be that learning curve. Do we agree? Is it the learning curve, or is it simple? Or well, I was gonna say, or is it the fact that they're just more comfortable with what they use, but then again, that still factors into the learning curve. So,
I don't know. I'd say exclusively about Jazza, I would say it's probably just because the video never brought in as much views as his normal stuff does, and with him being a YouTuber, it's all about the viewership. So if it's not bringing in the views, you drop it and you move on to something else until you find what sticks.
yeah,
But for everyone else in general, I don't know. Every person's completely different, you know. Like in the beginning with Dreams, like I tried to make stuff and I just couldn't get on with it, so I stayed with Dreams, but featured more on the playing side of stuff and the music side because it's something that I'm used to. But like now I'm breaching out and trying other stuff. I think it's just you've got to have the patience, and it's the same with any art program or 3D engine or whatever it is, unless you've got patience to actually take the time and learn it, then no one's going to get along with it. So I would say it's on a person by person basis, depending on how much you want to do it and how long you're willing to put in to actually do it. So, yeah.
yeah. All right. All right. Well, I'll give Jazz another try. I'll go back through the older material, see if I can catch on. It's
You
just
know,
I don't know what it was. It's just every video I saw, they're just like all of them were like super short, and they just like they didn't really center around the process like I was expecting because I had heard stuff about them before, and I was just. But yeah, I think maybe I came in on a maybe I was
I
clicking
don't
on
know. I
a
think you
wrong
just watched
videos or
all
something.
the wrong videos. Like of
Yeah,
all the videos he's made, you exclusively watched the ones that didn't hit the right vibe.
yeah, yeah.
But that just sounds like such a you thing that you would do.
Yeah,
Like you'd unintentionally watch all the bad videos and just call something off when everyone else is saying it's great. That is such a you thing that you would just unintentionally find those bad videos.
but I'm willing to go back. So I'm gonna give him another. I'm gonna give him another shot and see what it is. But are there any other YouTubers that you, I guess, inspire your work or inspire your pursuit of artistic gold?
um, there's one channel that I constantly go back to is Corridor Crew and Corridor
Mhm.
Digital.
Of
Yeah,
course, yeah,
I love
they're brilliant.
yeah, their breakdowns with everything just gives you so much insight into
Mm.
how it all works. Like,
I actually
yeah,
joined their. I finally joined their like website membership thing just the other day, actually. So just seeing all that background stuff on filmmaking and effects, and yeah, like you say, it's super informational, and I love some of their other like VFX artists react and stuff like that, which is why I started this all off by asking about the comping your creations into film because I really was just wondering if you had done any of it, but I'm gonna tell you check out Gianni Turismo. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a link right after the show because, yeah, I think maybe y'all should.
I
yeah,
think
I should.
if you see that, I think it will definitely give you the inspiration to try it because like you just wouldn't even know that it was dreams. Like his stuff just looks like out of the box special effects like all these studios use, and like he's got this spaceship in the sky, and it just looks like your go-to special effects. You'd never know it was done in dreams. Like he really has perfected the art of compositing into into real life footage.
No. So anyway, definitely a good variety of different guns. Wait, what? What happened?
Hold on, I think we
Oh
need
yeah,
context. Currently making a
yeah.
roguelike top-down shooter. What kind of stuff do you like to see if those sorts of games?
In those sort of games,
In
yeah.
those sorts of games, yeah.
Hmm. Uh, I'm gonna have to think on that for a minute, just because my mind was in a different direction from what was going on in chat. Um, but yeah, so another person you might like is Trent. Was it Trent Kanugi? Kanuga? I'll get into it. I'll send you a link for it. But he does a lot of hand drawn stuff and has done like concept art for every game company ever, and for like World of Warcraft and like everything from 2D to 3D asset creation. And he's now making his own game in like Unity, based off of a comic that he created. But yeah, like seeing him work in his older videos, which is another reason that I brought him up, was because of thinking back to the Jazza thing. That does seem to be the trend with art YouTubes. Like if you catch them in the beginning, they're like super process oriented. And then it kind of shifts over into like a, well, I've already shown you how this process for like, you know, 5 years. Maybe my videos are going to be a little bit different now. Maybe that's just what I came across as when he was experimenting with that. Maybe that was it, because I've seen it amongst a lot of the YouTube illustrators, artists, even the CG guys. Yeah. So anyway, so we've already pretty much been over everything, and people have been seeing your process in the
Right.
video. So I want to go back to our main screen here, and let's have the chat. Let's have the chat tell us what to talk about for this last 15, 20 minutes. What's a topic? It doesn't have to be dreams based. This is something I want to just do just to
Okay.
lighten
So
up.
we nice ending to the show. I like it.
Yeah, just something to ride out the last, 15, where we can talk about anything that the chat wants to talk about. Coinham says the Davy Jones looks incredible.
It does.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Love that film.
How much time was spent on that one
another year.
compared
No, I'm just.
compared to Chappie?
That one took about 3 days, I think.
You did all of that in 3 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas before, like if I were to try it in Blender or Maya, it would have taken much longer. But
Mm.
Dreams is like real time lighting and rendering, and the the way the shapes like blend together
Mm.
is like, yeah, it just is
See,
like that learning curve that I was like talking about before. Like it's anyone can pick up the controller and just, you know, just create it. And yeah,
you see, that's one of the things that really blows my mind with Dreams is that there is like literally no rendering. Like none. Like you can drop a whole scene, like you can find a whole remixable city with all of these animations and assets and flying paint and God knows what. Like someone maxed out the firmware, the gameplay, the audio, everything. You can just drop that into a scene and like within 5 seconds it's playable, it's game playable and everything. Like there's just no rendering with it. Like it just blows my mind that that's possible on a games console. And it just goes to show like, well, if we can do this on a games console, like why is the PC side of things not trying to do this? Like where you're reducing your rendering time because not is it only fantastic for people who are used to using these programs, and it would, productivity would fly through the roof because you don't have to wait hours for something to render, but
Mm.
also for the learning side of things, like it takes away the boredom of waiting for something to render to try it or to import something, because it's with Dreams it's just there, and you just drag and drop or make something, and it's just so fluid. I think that's what really makes the learning curve with Dreams so much easier, is because all of that is taken away with Dreams.
And you know, uh, um, since it's running in real time as well with real time shadows and
Mm,
lighting, that also informs you on like how you sculpt it
yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah, before when I was trying stuff in ZBrushes or like a uniform gray scale kind of environment, and then you don't know what it looks like until you hit the render, and that could like take time to render out. But Dreams, the shadows are real time, the lighting is real time, and then when you move like a sculpt around, you can see
yeah.
how
You
it
can see how the
affects the
light affects it. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and it just speeds up the whole process. Yeah.
Oh no!
I was muted. Okay, so
Oh no! Oh
yeah,
no!
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We start over. We go hard. So Payoff wanted to make fun of the fact that out of all the movie posters that exist, why I have the Hulk on my wall, and that's because Hulk is the strongest there is. And yeah, my favorite Marvel character. Also, I'm very picky about movie posters. I've always hated paper posters, and I'm going to put in an order soon to displate so that I can see what what the actual quality is on those posters. But like these posters are like thick and painted and like fully mounted. They're not like I'd have to try to destroy these posters. I hate flimsy posters. I hate things that you have to put up with tape just to ruin and take away. My Thor and Hulk clashing big poster, it's like 3 times the size of these, is actually downstairs in my living room. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Hulk, and yeah, so there's that. The next thing was thoughts on Neil Blomkamp as a filmmaker. So
Uh,
I mean, I want to leave this to you for
Yeah,
starters.
this is your moment.
um, I think like if he's got the script, then he's a he knows how to do gritty, sci-fi, and like I was kind of disappointed when they announced that he was going to do an Alien 3 kind of alternate timeline where Newt and Ripley was like still alive. And yeah, I really wanted to see like his take on it because like when I watched his films, I felt like it was like especially District 9, it felt like I was watching Terminator 2 or something like that. Like what James Cameron and his like kind of taste with sci-fi is
Yeah.
yeah. But
I Go ahead. Go ahead. If you got more
uh
to add.
no. No.
I I think Neil Blomkamp is one of the only working visionaries that truly has the eye for sci-fi as well as pushing the art of sci-fi filmmaking forward. Him and Villanueva, as well as who did Dune, and of course, I will say the Wachowskis, but yeah, like they just, I mean, it's to the point where sometimes I feel how good they are at their craft is almost wasted on the general consumer. And I know that sounds really bad.
You're not
but,
worthy to watch this.
I do. I mean, and like I said, it's just for real. It's like the level of disrespect that they're shown after the quality that they can produce, and also just tell stories at a creative clip that most people won't even attempt to do. It like gets them like no love. Like, yeah, everybody loves to talk about District 9, but when it came to Elysium or Chappie, yeah, it's just like for some reason those are just too sci-fi. It's like I just feel like some of their stuff is like those
Is that the
people.
general consensus with Elysium? Is that it's too sci-fi?
It's sci-fi, and people just never really nailed down why they didn't necessarily like it. It was just genuinely not well like received, and I could never
I like it.
I could never figure out. He's actually apologized for Elysium.
Really?
This is why I say he's probably listening to too many people, like too many of the haters. Like, you want to know a filmmaker who truly listened to the haters and was like, you know what? F y'all then. Michael Bay. When people kept accusing Michael Bay of just blowing everything up on screen and all that stuff, I was sitting there like, do we just, I mean, now mind you, he does work in action, but The Rock, Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, possibly one of the greatest action movies ever made. Like, it's like they reduced everything that he actually put time into.
Yeah. Yeah.
To just blowing things up. So now if you watch a Michael Bay movie, he literally, I swear, if I could catch him in a back room, he'd be like, yeah, they told me I just blew stuff up, so I just blow it up now. Because if you watch his movies now, it's literally just blowing the screen up. And it's like he doesn't even try anymore. And I'm sorry, but like I said, people, sometimes it's wasted on these plebs.
I don't think you should, as an artist in whatever medium you're in, you should never apologize for your work, ever. That's just like the one rule. Like, you've made something that you think is good and that you appreciate as the artist. That's all that matters. If other people like it, great. They have the same opinion as you. That's good. You can talk about it and share the experience. People that don't like it, that's your opinion. Never apologize for your own artwork. That's a really, really bad thing, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, Neil Blomkamp is amazing. And if you haven't had the chance to check out, basically, I think is it still on Netflix? Where he put together, oh no, we lost him.
Yeah, he froze and then he disappeared.
Well, let me click everybody off. And let's see. Let's fix this real quick. Yeah. Reset transform. Bam. We're just. I mean, we never left, but I'm just making sure that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm making sure that it's not them looking at weird cutouts of cameras that no longer apply. So, his computer went to sleep before he did. That's what. But yeah, so, I shouldn't have asked. Asked about what? What? Asked about what? What? What'd you ask? About Neil Blomkamp? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, you want hot takes. This is where it goes, baby.
Me. Especially when it's movies. Like,
when it's movies.
Film. Like, yeah.
You're in my wheelhouse, baby.
Yeah,
this is where I live. So, I mean, I gotta get rid of these. You know what? Let's just put those over. It's some live editing, ladies and gentlemen. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best. So we'll just get rid of name tags and everything.
Live show.
You know what? You know what? You wanted to. People. You want to know a thing in gaming that actually made me happy as of late? This will be our last topic, and we'll end the show after this.
All right.
Don't even mention the Matrix. Bruh, don't do
go
it.
there.
Don't.
This will turn into a 5-hour show.
We'll save that for my this. We'll save that for my new stuff coming. So be ready for that if you guys actually are interested and want to talk movies. But I was happy to see, for those that didn't, just in gaming in general, where WB Games came out and said that the Gotham Knights game is no longer going to be on old consoles. It's only going to be on next gen now. And the internet didn't eat them alive for it.
Yeah, because people actually want old gen to be like, discontinued now, and all the new games to be developed for these new consoles, because they're not going to get the full potential out of these systems until they drop the previous generation. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people, we've talked about it within the Dreams community as well, where it's like, people are like, hey, I know,
but even if I didn't have a next-gen console, I would still be the one holding up that poster saying, drop the PS4, drop the Xbox One, even if I couldn't get my hands on a PS5, because I love gaming and I want it to evolutionize and get better, and the only way to do that is to move forward, not sit in a hybrid state where you're supporting two different generations of consoles that's got 10-year-old hardware in it. Well, the PS5's never going to reach its potential if you do that. So I mean,
even just or just keep asking developers to develop for 5 different consoles at a time, which is, I feel like if you care about the developers and their continued success and not burning out their developers and their devs, stop making them program for like 5 different variations of consoles. But the fact that
it's hard enough to make a game as it is, let alone making all that code work for 5 different systems.
Why Ledbetter? I don't think it's a different situation, but I'm willing to hear why you think it is. The reason I think it's not is because if there were things that they could enact within the PS5, a PS5 update of it that would no longer work on PS4, a lot of people worried about that. Their stance is, hey, don't do anything to fracture the community. My stance on it is, hey, fracture the hell out of it, because people will catch up. Like, that's even as he said, like, I was one of the people who was begging on the street for a PS5 because my PS4 was dying. And I understand why people have the hang up on it. But for me, I'd rather have something to look forward to and a reason to update to a new console than to want something that I love and want to see grow stay where it is just because I, at that time, can't. It's like, oh, well, if I can't enjoy the new stuff, well, then nobody gets to enjoy it. Like, I that's just not my stance, and it's not my stance on anything. So anybody that's like, that wants these companies to keep making games that apply to every one of the consoles, the PS4, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, XXX, just all these damn consoles. Like, that's why Cyberpunk got effed. Like, if we're just all honest. Now, mind you, they may have had some issues, but most of the issues that really existed were because they tried to put those next-gen games on last-gen consoles. Yeah, they still had some stuff to tighten up around the edges, but we need to get over this. Like, in my opinion, from my stance, okay? I'm not saying this to anger anybody. Please disagree with me because it makes me it actually entertains me more to have different views. I'm not one of those people that's going to try to cancel you because you don't think what I think, okay? Like, I want to hear people go because I'm going to think about this long after the show's over. I'll be thinking about it for the next, hell, couple of forever probably, because I think too much. I analyze everything. But let me see here. Why letter it? That's because you're a nice dude. Wait, what? I think I've missed everything.
Yeah.
No.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't see
man.
you yet.
I don't know what happened. Just like crashed. I think it was like going through an update. Like, I apologize.
Hey,
Discord will do that to you. It's
Yeah.
not the greatest.
We've had all types of things happen. Usually we that's why we used to call the Friday curse, because there'd be updates and then things wouldn't be compatible anymore, and
Like, why
it's
is
terrible.
it that every Friday before we do this show, like, I will work all day on my PC and I'll have no updates, and like an hour before the show, Windows decides to go, bing, update your PC now. Like, it literally waits until showtime to annoy me.
Were you using it? Well, you must want these new fresh updates.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of what you're doing. You're in a call, you'll be right back. That's
Fine. You just need to restart your computer 3 times for these updates to initialize, but that's okay.
Yeah. So
Stupid Windows.
my stance is you all can have your PS5 updates and exclusives to new gen all you want, but can I please get a PS5 too? I'm telling you, I have personally bought 4 PS5s. I found one. My brother wanted one, so I found him one. I found a friend of mine his, and then I found one for another friend. And yeah, you just like, I mean, if you I feel like it's hard out there, but if you do really want it, there are steps you can take to make sure you get it within like 3 or 4 tries. But you can't, this is a whole new world when it comes to the pandemic and how all this stuff works now. And, you know, I mean, it's like when they were bringing out the gaming numbers for PlayStation, because they're like, yeah, we didn't reach our projected number, but it's not because they didn't sell. It's literally because they just couldn't make enough. And so, like, they can fulfill most of the need, but they're gone off the shelves immediately. You can't sell more than you can actually sell. So it'll be a thing. We still going off script, also for PS5s. Yeah. Like I said, if you really, really want a PS5, is it annoying? Yes. Will you curse the earth with what you have to go through to get it? Yes. Will it be to the point where you want to go out and actually find scalpers and scalp them? Yes. Which I still give much love to the dudes up in Canada that found that dude who was flying his like truckload of PS5s, and they broke into his house and like took all his PS5s. I love it. I love it. So, not all heroes wear capes, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, the point is it's annoying, but
It's annoying.
if you want it, it is possible.
I mean, I got mine 2 months after launch. Like, I got it relatively quick, considering even at that time, like, it was worse then to get one than I think it is now, at least here in the UK. So if I can get one 2 months after launch when COVID was like all the craze, you could definitely get one now. You've got to have your alerts on. You've got to be following these stock checkers and stuff, and be willing to look at your phone when you get a notification at 4 o'clock in the morning and order it. It just depends how much you want it. I really wanted one, so I made sure that I got it.
Oh, yeah, or you could be like my friend who just walked into Target one day and there was a PS5 on the shelf. And he was like, what?
I have never seen any physically in any store, though, I will admit.
Yeah,
I've always seen stock online, but never seen one physically in a store, ever.
Yeah.
So that's crazy that he was just walking by and, whoop, there's a PS5. I'll just put that in my basket and go.
Yeah, it was only one.
insane.
Only one on the shelf.
That's insane. That's crazy.
But yeah, I completely back any of these game developers who are like, look, we're tired of last gen. We need to go forward. We're making our games are now just for next gen. It's time. It's
Yeah,
time. It's
100%. I
because
totally agree.
at some point, if they don't, as we
Well, I mean,
know,
this is the thing, though. It's
as
gonna
vicious
happen
as the
anyway.
gaming community is, well, it's gonna happen. But if they don't
Yeah.
do it fast enough, people are gonna go the other route, and it's gonna be, what was the point of me spending the money on this next gen console if you're never gonna put anything specifically on it utilizing it? See, they all got to make the change before that becomes the argument, because that's gonna be vicious. That is gonna be more vicious than me.
I
So
think we're getting to that point, though, because I mean, there has to be a transitional period anyway. Where you're trying to migrate users from PS4 to PS5. So there's naturally going to be that migration window anyway, as with any generation, where you've got this point where they're developing for both consoles while everyone slowly moves over. But I think we're at a point now where I would expect myself personally every game going into 2023 that's made by PlayStation Studios to be PS5 exclusives.
Abe, did
not
you
on PS4 anymore.
Abe, did you see? Oh, the disrespected one, who's going to be joining me in my new ventures sometimes, maybe. Did you see the Abe? Did you see the gameplay video for Arkham Knights that they released? Like, what was it, yesterday or was it the day before yesterday? The next Batman game, or
Is it the one?
Do you
Is
mean
it the
Gotham?
one with,
Is it Gotham Knights? Or was it Arkham Knights? I can't remember.
Gotham Knights? Yeah, I think it's Gotham Knights, but yeah, the one with Robin and Batgirl and Nightwing and all of them. It's like a co-op open world game where you can. I think it's just co-op too. It's not like you could. I thought they had said before you could play with 3 people at a time, but during that thing, it sounded like it was just 2. But did you see that?
Is it? No. But is it developed by Rocksteady?
Yeah.
Mm.
Wait, is it Rocksteady or is it WB? Because WB took
I
over.
thought it was Rocksteady.
Because WB took over for Rocksteady on the Arkham series for like 1 or 2 of the Batman games, and it was noticeable.
Oh no, it's WB Games Montreal that's developing it.
There we go. See, hopefully Rocksteady is working on a Superman or Flash game, or they may be the ones who's working on the Suicide Squad game. Is that WB as well, or did they throw that over to Rocksteady? All I really want to get to is Gotham Knights. It didn't look great, in my opinion. I'm not judging already, by the way, because we don't.
Suicide Squad is Rocksteady.
Suicide Squad is Rocksteady. I'll be looking at that. But when it's alpha or whatever, probably. There's tons of work to be done on the game before it ever comes out. But when I was watching that gameplay, I kind of had that thought in my head of, y'all shouldn't have shown this yet. And I want to know
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment.
No.
I'll take a quick look.
Ape, did you?
Not yet.
Okay.
When did it release?
It was only like a video on IGN showing like a gameplay featurette. It was like it was like within the last 72 hours.
Yeah, it was May 10th. I'm watching it now. Something like that.
Intra Attack Out agrees with me. That might be the first time. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it looked very unsatisfying. It's just certain decisions made. Like, graphically, it looks good. But, like, your gameplay within said graphics looks really... Nightwing has like a Fortnite glider to get around for some reason.
Why is he like super slidey as well?
And yeah, and then Red Hood, because apparently I've never seen this in the comics, so somebody please correct me if they did this in an iteration and I just don't know. But the way he gets around is he has like a mystical like
Yeah.
propel jump.
Yeah, I'm seeing
That,
that. I'm not
like,
a fan.
I'm like, yeah, that was never the character from what I've read.
Yeah.
But then again, I've dropped off of comics a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So
To me, the Nightwing combat looks like they're trying to do what Insomniac did with Spider-Man, but they've done it wrong.
yeah,
That like with the whole acrobatic side of it, like how Spider-Man is super fluid in the acrobatics of it.
yeah.
It's just not the same. It's very on the rails feeling with Nightwing.
And the fact that Red Hood has non-lethal rounds, and
He has non-lethal rounds.
he has non-lethal rounds, which okay, I'll take it. But how can you have armor-piercing non-lethal rounds? I'm gonna pierce your armor, but then I'm going to, with my mind, control how hard the bullet hits you.
I'm not. I'm literally watching it as you speak, and I'm not really impressed by the gameplay.
I just wanted to bring it up because I wanted to know if anyone saw that and was just like, ugh, like I was. I was actually hyped for the game. I was like, yo, co-op within Arkham, even though for some reason they never have an actual living city. It's just a closed down island. I'm still down for it. I'd love to see some pedestrians, but then again, whatever. But yeah, it was just like I was excited. I liked the Batman games, and except for the one,
The Batman games were good.
except for the one, what was the one before Arkham Knight? Which was the one that WB Games worked on, because I will never forgive them. Ever forgive them, because I played that game and I ran into so many bugs that I was okay with. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep making my way through the game, baby. It's all good. I got to the end. The game glitched out from the beginning of the end, like the end, the climax scene, basically, the end game. It glitched from the end game all the way to the credits. So I still don't know what the end of the whole game looks like.
Oh no!
And I'm not just talking about the cinematics.
When you say glitch, like what type of glitch?
I mean, you go in to start the final battle, it froze, chopped around a little bit, and then when it came back, it was the end of the game, and like the credits rolled immediately.
So it just skipped the entire ending.
The entire ending, gameplay, and everything of the game. And I was like, from that point on, even though it wasn't Rocksteady that hurt me, that they didn't do me wrong, it was WB, but from that moment on, I just was like, I'm out of the Batman games. Like, I haven't touched them since, because that hurt me so bad. And it's sad because Arkham Knight was next. And I've heard that was a really great game. Rocksteady. But yeah, so, but I do hope Rocksteady gets the chance to work with other DC IPs, because I think they've done enough with Batman. They need to go ahead and move on.
That cow.
Yeah, give me a Flash game. I know somebody's working on a Wonder Woman game now. They showed that last Game Awards, I believe. Yeah, so Arkham Origins, yeah, that. But yeah, basically, as far as I'm concerned, any game like that now has to live up to Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, because both of those games.
The benchmark. That is it. They are literally the benchmark for superhero games now. Like, that's it. So it'll be interesting to see how they pull off Wolverine, and I hope it isn't a copy of the Spider-Man template, but I think Insomniac will do us good with that one.
Yeah, it's Insomniac. I have full hope.
Yeah, I have full faith in them. So that'll be interesting.
Ape, you're being quiet on us again. What's going on? What's going on?
I know, we're hogging the conversation here.
I'm just listening.
Oh no, he's joined the chat. So yeah, Hulk Ultimate. Excuse me. Okay, so even though that company that made Hulk Ultimate Destruction and also made Prototype, which was way better than Infamous, they don't exist anymore. But I would really love to see Hulk Ultimate Destruction come back. People don't realize how much that game it did so much right. So much right. And then they went into Prototype, which is the first game to ever actually give me a...
I liked Prototype back in the day. That was a good game.
It was the first game to give me a power fantasy. Like, I know a lot of people talk about how they play games for escapism and all that stuff. And, you know, I don't really get that from gaming. Like, I'm still, like, in my brain, I'm still working. Which is why I like, you know, single-player games that have in-depth stories that kind of inspire me in things I want to do. So my brain doesn't turn off when I'm gaming. It's in full throttle. But that game... Prototype, I wasn't sure what was happening, but I was walking down the street. I had turned the camera so that it was facing the character, and I was using his summon where he calls out the 4 huge shadow beasts that wreck shop for you. I was literally making my character walk in slow motion while I was watching the creatures destroy everything around me, not playing. It's like I had just set my own scene. And I was just like living this power fantasy. It was the first time, honestly, it ever happened to me in gaming. And I was just like, wow. And then people want to tell me that Infamous is better than Prototype. The old wars that in the gaming community. Infamous, I'm going to tell you. Infamous, I don't hate. But I was really, really upset at the character. Once again, this is one of the first times I think I ever noticed, and it bothered me. The character animations for a character using powers. I hated it in Infamous. It literally ruined the game for me. Just seeing him walk around with his hand straight up like this, doing this to shoot lightning.
Yeah. Mm.
For the life of me, I was like, y'all couldn't give me like like some sort of thing so he's not just running around with his hand like this, shooting lightning.
Yeah, you do have a good point. What did you think of Second Son?
But the story was good, though. See, that's the thing. I will be fair. The Infamous, the story was good, and the way they told it was good. I just don't think it was better than Prototype, personally.
Did you like Second Son, though? That was, out of all of them, I think that was the best one.
It was a little better. I mean, I don't think it was better than... Oh, this is going to get weird. I don't think it... As all the things that I just said that Part 1 did right, I don't think Part 2 did as well. But graphically, it was comparable to where I wouldn't say it was a horrible game. Or anything like that. It's just neither of them are better than Prototype. I just want that to be my statement to everyone so that you truly understand and know. So if anyone ever brings up the BS to you talking about how Infamous was better than Prototype, no, I'm just playing. Everybody likes what they like, but I loved Prototype, and I really wish that they hadn't been. I think it was Remedy. Was it Remedy?
I think it was Remedy, yeah.
Yeah, I hope they got bought up by EA and then they got disbanded. So
they're solo again, aren't they? No?
I don't think so.
I thought they were solo.
I think they got killed. I think they got taken out of the game.
Remedy? No, Remedy isn't out of the game.
Then it wasn't Remedy.
Remedy's the one that made Control.
Let me see. Yeah, Remedy is the one that made Control. Hold on.
Who made Prototype then? I thought it was Remedy.
No, Prototype. Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now.
Radical.
Yeah, Radical. There you go. Yeah.
Published by Activision.
Yeah. So, Infamous Second Son was so much better than 1 and 2. Oh my god!
You didn't like Second Son.
I'm not. No. I just gave you my breakdown. It's,
I know, that's what I was just thinking. That's why you go. I was like, but you just said you didn't mind Second Son.
but I think if I'm reading Ted Beef's comment correctly, I think he's saying that Infamous Second Son was so much better than 1 and 2 of Prototype.
Oh, right, okay. No, I think he's on about.
Just
Infamous, it's better than Infamous 1 and 2. Yeah.
Still, I think the only game I've ever platinumed is Spider-Man PS5 or PS4. It was PS4 when it dropped. So, yeah. No, I mean Infamous. Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure because I was going to jokingly start beef. This is the way. But yeah, got it. I think Insomniac should take on Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Cancel Wolverine.
Really? You want to cancel Wolverine
if
and
I
replace
had
it with the Hulk?
I mean, I'd love to get both at the same time, personally. But if I had to choose, I would.
Way.
I would. No. You know why?
Wolverine over Hulk any day.
I want Wolverine to come out and be done when they aren't afraid to actually let people bleed. It's the same thing people have wanted since the 97 X-Men cartoon. It's the same thing people have wanted in the games. It's the same thing people want in any time you show Wolverine. Let the man work. And he is loved the most when you let the man work. It's like a lot of the times it feels like the old school Ninja Turtles where the Foot Clan had to be robots so that when they were hit with weapons, so the turtles could actually use their weapons. If Insomniac, they are moving forward with Wolverine, because
that's happening.
It's just the way it is. But I want them. See, Disney doesn't have that much control. Disobey, not when it comes to the gaming. When it comes to the gaming, Disney lets people do what they're gonna do with the games, which is proof by them letting EA do anything with the franchise. Like, EA screwed up their whole licensing thing with Star Wars so hard, and Disney never got in the way. Disney never said, hey, guys, what are you doing? Like, in the gaming, they'll let them go where they want to go. Just like they let Spider-Man have different elements of storytelling to the origin and to, the building of characters. So, I mean, I hope for Wolverine that they let the man work. Because if they let him work with the claws and they don't come up with some shink slide, effect swipe thing, yeah. No. When I pull out the claws, I want to pin someone to a wall. I want to see Wolverine. Hulk, you don't have to worry about that. I hit that man with a car. He's now flying over the city. Done. You don't have to show the blood. You don't have to show the impact crater. We just bow. Gone. And I love that. But as I said, the Hulk is one of my favorites. So, of course, I'm going to be biased when it comes to that. But anyway.
Well, I do agree with you. They do need to do the character justice with Wolverine, and they need to show him off in the right way. And I think if anyone's going to do it, though, it's going to be Insomniac. I really do think they'll do the character justice.
Hopefully. Ape, who's your favorite Marvel character?
Spider-Man.
Oh, so you're already satiated. Yeah, they've already done everything for you.
You're good.
Yeah.
Are you hyped for Spider-Man 2?
Which?
The
Spider-Man
game?
2.
Yeah. With Kraven the Hunter and Venom.
To be honest, I haven't really been playing much video games lately, but I remember playing a lot of the first one. And also, I just finished Miles Morales, so yeah, I can't wait to see. I'll pick it up, and if I have time from Dreams, then I'll try it out.
Well, you got plenty of time. It doesn't come out till next year. All we know as of right now, it's 2023 anyway. So who knows when it will drop?
Yeah, see, the only thing, and I'm still gonna play it, and I'm still gonna love it. But one thing that I hope they reconsider before Spider-Man 2 comes out is co-op.
Oh god, it needs co-op.
I understand why they're still like, no, it's still single player, and I won't have a problem with it as long as it's great. But it just feels so much like a missed opportunity.
I mean, the fact that you have Miles and Peter in it, like just being able to sit and couch co-op that would be insane. It'd be so cool. And there was a rumor though recently that there is 3 playable characters. Miles, Peter, and apparently Venom is going to be playable.
Well, playable and co-op don't mean I don't care. I don't care. I want to play with a friend, and I'm sick of people not letting me play with my friends. That's like the greatest thing about Elden Ring, and nobody talks about it. Of course, it's because they have a overly conceited way of multiplayer, but that's just Japanese gaming. So, and I'm not saying that as a knock. It's just, I mean, we all know that there always seems to be some extra level. There's never just a, hey, I want to queue up with a friend. It's, you have to find this specific flower. Once you have the flower, you can bring in your friend. But oh, wait, there's a breathy tryhard that's also in your game now and kills you and makes it so all of your progress is gone while you were about to fight a boss. Like, there's always ways. And then there's Monster Hunter and their cutscene prerequisites of how you can join a friend, and it's craziness. But it's just one of the greatest thing about Elden Ring that nobody really talks about, in my opinion, is the fact that you don't have to suffer alone. You can literally bring in a friend and run around, and the game becomes more of a comedy because it's an experience that you're actually having with someone else as well. Whereas I can understand certain people who run in, like, don't know their way around the game, run into things that they definitely don't want to fight, and get smashed 80 times in a row. Like, I get that. But just having a friend there literally takes all that frustration away. And I'm going to show y'all how that goes. Like I said, once I'm back up. I'm not back up yet. But once I am, there's going to be a lot more going on this channel. You will be introduced to the hot action studs. Anyway, if I had my choice, I would want a Hulk game. But if I could get a DC game of choice, it would be The Flash. And I think it's long overdue. And I would really appreciate if somebody would make it.
And that's another one that needs to be done right as well. Like, you can't half-ass that. That's got to be done really well for it to work.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at chat. I have. Let's start here. I do agree, Disobey. We need a good Marvel co-op game, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, being able to switch between characters, that's cool. But I also just want to be like, I'm Miles, Jamie is Peter, let's roll. Like, that would be amazing.
So fun.
But Intro Attack Out says, I have significant superhero fatigue at this point, unfortunately. Just want to see some new IP again. Really hope Naughty Dog will do something new now. They won't. And that's not me saying they should or putting shade on their name. I love Naughty Dog. But I think we all know already what they're working on. And I think that's it for now. Let me see here. Yeah, Coinum said, but split screen might be a bit irritating when web swinging. I say don't split the screen.
You'd have to have
2 instances. One running on each thing. And I say try to pull it off. Because I just think that's the way it would need to be done now. Like, you would need to load into an instance, and that instance would be the single player. And that way everybody can have their own full display. But again, I don't know what it takes to pull that off, ladies and gentlemen. So, hey, I'm just saying how I think the experience should be, and I'll be happy with whatever I get. That's because they've done enough with the first 2 Spider-Man games to make me be like, yeah, they make good games, and I want to see where this goes.
Full confidence that Spider-Man 2 is just going to blow our socks off. I mean, they did a fantastic job with the original, and then Miles Morales was amazing as well. So yeah, whatever they do, it's going to be good.
When I heard the rumors about the Last of Us remake, I almost quit gaming then and there. God. All right, Intro Attack Al. All right. I mean, I understand though. It's just my whole thing is
we just don't need it. We just don't need it. Like, why are you remaking that? Like, I just don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I understand because of the money that it's going to make, but I just wish they'd make something else.
Coinum, when I say one screen, I mean you have your instance of what you're playing, and the other person has what they're playing. Sort of like when you, and God forbid I bring up this horrid game, but like Destiny, you have your friend. Yeah, I know, it made me throw up in my brain. You have, you're not both on the same screen. You're just in the same place. And I don't know how difficult, I'm sure it's very difficult, it is to actually make a campaign run in that type of setup. But that's why I, once again, point back to Elden Ring. Because they did it. That's what they're doing. Like, they're people. In an instance, that person can go running off. I know, because my friend is like the hardest person to follow in the world. If you ever pull up your map, you'll never find him again when you come out. But, like, it's doable. I've seen it be done. So, I don't, like, I get that may not have been in like the original way it was, like, thought about. But, yeah, there's 2 prerequisites. I want co-op gaming, and I want, how to put this? I want co-op gaming, and I want it in the form of a well-crafted campaign, not of a PvE. I know everybody I know everybody wants to make their game that lasts for 10 years and is a cash cow like Apex Legends and whatever other battle royale you want to focus your gaming after. But that stuff just annoys me. Like, I want something that has the quality of, how would I put it? I want something that has the quality of an Uncharted, but I can play with my friend. That's it. And Spider-Man, I think, has the best chance of doing that without some of the more intricate things that would make it very difficult for certain IPs.
Like, just imagine how fun it would be to, like, swing around New York with a friend. Like, forget everything else. Just that alone would just be so fun.
Yeah. I used to do it just to bring myself peace after a day of work. Like I said, that was the only game I've ever platinumed. And I'm not lying to y'all. I've never platinumed a game before except for Spider-Man PS4. I just don't play for trophies. I tell me the story you got. Is it good? Did I have fun interacting with it? Yes, I'm good. Just like I said, it would probably surprise people how I don't watch, like, making of featurettes for movies on a regular. I love movies, but that's not, like, I kind of take everything as it is until something becomes like, something has to really blow my mind for me to be like, wait, how did they make that shot? But when I would buy DVDs, one of my, 3,000 DVDs, I don't watch like a movie and then go, time to get to that making of. No, it's just the movie. And then, like I said, if something blows my mind, GG. I think I want to play that co-op game Suffering. Have you seen that?
Suffering? Is that the title of it?
Yeah, that's the title.
Okay.
I think it's Suffering, where you're like a mutated blob trying to make it out of a lab, but
There's
but it's co-op, so
what?
you control one of its arms, and the other player controls the other arm, so you guys have to like co-op in tandem of the same body, controlling
I
these
am.
tentacles to get around obstacles. You've
I
never.
am not. I'm not finding it. The only thing I'm finding is a game called The Suffering, which came out on the PS2.
No, hold on. It's something like. Let me see. No, you're right. That's not it. Hold on. God dang it! It was just on sale on the PS Store too. Uh, oh, come on.
I'm gonna quickly get into the PlayStation Store and have a look what's on. Is it still on sale in the 70% sale?
I'm trying to go through. Oh, Struggling. That's what it's called, not Suffering. I messed up. It's called Struggling.
Okay.
And if y'all haven't,
Yes. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
if y'all haven't seen that, it looks hilarious. It's like the game that'll make you actually start like hating the person sitting next to you, but it
I
looks
love
so
the art
good.
style as well. The art
Oh.
style's really nice.
Oh, the art is really good on it.
Super, super pretty. Yeah, really nice.
Spider Gwen. I ain't got time for that. You give me a multiverse game or Into the Spider-Verse game? I got
Yeah,
time
that'd
for
be
Spider Gwen, but a Spider Gwen game?
Yeah,
Yeah, she can
I
be
agree.
a piece of the game. I don't need a whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, for me,
Just a cameo in the game would be fine.
I'd rather bring back Noir Spider-Man and actually have the character voiced in game by Nicolas Cage, like he was in the Spider-Verse. That would be a friggin' amazing game. But even still, I'll take the game where they're all there. We're actually jumping through the Spider-Verse. I'll take that. But I don't know about Spider-Gwen game. That I don't know.
All right,
know.
I think we're about ready to wrap up, wouldn't you say?
We are. Ape, is there anything else you wanted to go over? Join in. Throw your 2 cents on.
Nah, thank you for having me on the podcast.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, there's actually light in your window, I think.
It's morning now.
The sunrise.
So, all right, man. Well, keep us posted on what you're working on. Make sure to tell us any updates or anything that progresses the whole polycam and taking sculptures out of dreams and into things to keep us up to date on how all that's working. And yeah, we'll have you back on for a roundtable or for whenever you release and get your animation stuff down in dreams and they give us Wacom.
Saku just raided with a party of 15 and we're closing.
Yeah. Hello, everybody that joined in from Saku. This is the Made in Dreams podcast. I'm Mighty Vicious, the channel. We do this every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, but we are finishing up now. So I'm going to see who we can send all of you lovely people over to. Let me see here. I believe we have... How come this thing never shows me all the people that are actually on?
Let's take a look who's streaming right now.
Yeah, somebody tell me with a full list who's streaming Dreams right now.
We have Pixel Gorilla, we have Major Mate Marty.
You know what? This is what we'll do while we're waiting. Show you guys some of the video that the Apeinator or Nguyen works on, some of the animation stuff inside and outside of Dreams. But yeah, so I have 800 Pixel Gorilla on my, I know he's in my follow, but he's not on my thing. Hold on. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw it over to 800 Pixel Gorilla. And I'm going to start the raid. So, oh yeah. And this is, like I said, this is the stuff just for outside of Dreams, but if you guys have seen the work where he's built a full working Chappie from the movie Chappie, and it's amazing.
It's just mind blowing.
You know what? You know what? For this, I'm gonna go back to the pre-show short, because there you go. So you can see everybody that's here now. You can see the Chappie that he's worked on. Which, if you go check out all of his stuff, full animations, full interface, and breaking down the model. You have the Davy Jones sculpt, which is absolutely fantastic. Then you have the main character from Squid Game and the sculpt he did for that. He's amazing. So check him out. And oh yeah, where can they find you? Where can they find you, Apeinator?
In the Dreamyverse, Ape Monkey Boy 21. Most of my work is there, and I also have a YouTube channel, which I will send to you guys. Actually, you guys already have it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
It's
So
a small. Yeah, it's
you
a
know
small
what?
channel. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No. Go ahead.
It's a small channel at the moment, but when I find time, like, I'll add more to it.
Let me see here. I'm going to drop. I'm going to drop actually your links in chat before we go, so that everyone will be able to look up all your incredible work. The one piece that I couldn't remember where I saw it, I think it was Twitter, where was the creating the noodle bag or the package of noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
find the video of it. But yeah, that was actually amazing. And I was like, I want to put it in the reel. Where is it? And could not find it. So
I think Sinop the Hedgehog made a post about it, and it like blew up, I think.
And well deserved as well. I mean, your work is just, it's impeccable. It's just the attention to detail is just crazy.
why? You know what? This is just. I don't know why I'm not able to find this now, even though I follow it. It's killing me here, Smalls. Anyway, what we'll do is if you go to the Mighty Vicious YouTube, I'll be uploading this podcast episode. So for anyone who missed it, and I'll put all the links to the Apeinator's work underneath the video, and that'll just make it easier to find it on the spot instead of trying to pull it up now, which for some reason I can't. So
And if you prefer the audio version, it will be uploaded onto Spotify and all the other podcast streaming services as well.
indeed. So now we will go again with this raid. Thank you everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we will catch you later.
Bye.